Hey family. Welcome back to this sacred space. The space where truth meets spirit, and where you're reminded of who you really are. If you've been feeling something lately, like a deep stirring in your spirit, like the very air around you has changed, it's because heaven is reminding you of something ancient, something holy, something powerful that's been inside you since before time began. Chosen one, you carry the breath that spoke creation into being. That's not poetry. That's not exaggeration. That's truth. When God formed Adam, He didn't just give him lungs, He breathed His own essence into him. That same divine breath flows through you. Every inhale is not just air, it's a spark of divinity. Every exhale carries creative power, the power to shape, to call forth, to restore, and to build. You're not just surviving this life, you're sustaining creation through your very existence. The reason you feel things deeply, the reason you can't go along with everyone else's path, the reason darkness tries so hard to silence you, is because you are a carrier of the word that made worlds. Today, I want to remind you of what that means, and why this season of your life feels heavier, holier, and more significant than ever before. So take a deep breath. Let your soul exhale. Because by the end of this message, you'll understand, the breath you carry isn't ordinary. It's divine command in motion. Chosen one, you need to know this. You were not made the way others were. You were breathed into being. Before your parents met, before your name was spoken, heaven whispered your essence into the atmosphere. God didn't simply form you, He spoke you forth. You were an intentional expression of His nature, released through the same breath that said, "Let there be light." That's why your presence carries weight. That's why even your silence speaks volumes. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts, not because of your ego, but because heaven recognizes its own sound in you. Have you ever noticed that you can't blend in, no matter how hard you try? That's because what's inside you was never meant to blend, it was meant to breathe life into the lifeless. You were designed to awaken. You were designed to stir. You were designed to breathe creation back into broken places. Every time you speak life over yourself, over your dreams, or over others, you are activating that original creative force. And this is what the enemy fears most. A chosen one who remembers their breath is sacred. Let's go deeper. When God breathed into humanity, He wasn't just giving the gift of respiration, He was transferring His creative power. That means your words, your prayers, your energy, they build realities. When you say, "I am healed," heaven moves to make it so. When you declare, "I am chosen," your frequency shifts and darkness loses permission to attach to you. When you whisper, "Peace, be still," the chaos around you must obey. You were never powerless, you just forgot what kind of breath you carry. The breath of God is the original manifestation energy. It carries intent, authority, and divine blueprint. That's why your thoughts and emotions shape your reality faster than others. When you speak from alignment, creation listens, because it remembers the sound of its creator. This is why your words matter so much. This is why gossip drains you. This is why complaining feels like poison in your spirit. Because your mouth was never meant to speak death, only creation. Chosen one, start to guard your breath. Start to use your words as instruments of heaven. You're not just talking, you're building universes. Let's be honest, there have been moments where breathing itself felt hard. Moments where anxiety, pain, and betrayal made it feel like your chest was too small to hold your spirit. But let me tell you something sacred, even in those moments, heaven was breathing through you. You weren't suffocating, you were shedding old air. You were exhaling the old versions of yourself that couldn't go with you into the next level. Sometimes the heaviness you feel isn't a curse, it's divine expansion. When God expands your capacity, it feels like pressure. When He enlarges your spirit, it feels like breaking. But in truth, He's just stretching your lungs to hold more of Him. Chosen one, the breath in you cannot be taken, only transformed. You may have felt winded by life, but your spirit was being recalibrated to a higher rhythm. You are inhaling purpose and exhaling miracles. That's why your recovery looks supernatural. That's why your peace returns faster now. Because you're no longer breathing just air, you're breathing alignment. There's a reason you feel things before others sense them. You're connected to the unseen. You're part of heaven's communication system. Your words are not small. They are winds of creation. When you speak in faith, it's like a divine breeze carrying blueprints into reality. That's why the enemy attacks your voice, through fear, doubt, and insecurity. Because if you ever fully realize the creative force that your words carry, you would transform everything around you. Every time you say, "Let there be," in your life, something is born. When you say, "I am loved," the spiritual atmosphere rearranges to reflect that love. When you say, "I forgive," chains fall off generations. When you say, "I am walking in divine timing," the universe adjusts its rhythm to match your declaration. Your words are not just vibrations, they are commands authorized by the divine breath inside you. This is why you must stop speaking defeat. Stop using sacred energy to narrate your pain. Start using your breath to write your destiny. Chosen one, you need to hear this slowly and let it soak into your spirit. The world breathes because you do. That might sound poetic, but it's far deeper than metaphor. It's spiritual fact. You are not just one among 8 billion. You are a divine conduit. A breathing bridge between heaven and earth. Every inhale you take draws in divine intention, and every exhale releases balance, peace, and life into the collective. When you breathe, heaven exhales through you. You are the rhythm between dimensions. You're the harmony that keeps creation aligned. When you pray, when you sit in stillness, when you walk through a space carrying peace, you are literally shifting the vibration of that environment. Let's pause here for a moment. Have you noticed how people calm down when you enter a room? How the tension seems to fade, even if no words are spoken. It's not luck, and it's not coincidence. It's resonance. They're breathing in your frequency. They're inhaling the peace you carry. Because you are heaven's oxygen in human form. You were sent into this timeline not just to exist, but to sustain. When everything around you feels chaotic, the reason God hasn't removed you is because your presence is the stabilizer. You're the divine regulator keeping the spiritual ecosystem in balance. Let me tell you something that will humble your heart. The earth depends on those who remember their breath. When the world becomes heavy with fear, your calm becomes medicine. When others spiral into negativity, your peace becomes oxygen. When hope feels lost, your faith becomes the world's next inhale. Chosen one, you are not just breathing for yourself. You're breathing for those who forgot how. That's why your life feels so heavy sometimes. Because you're carrying more than your own soul, you're carrying the energetic weight of spaces that haven't yet remembered God. And yet, through you, heaven keeps whispering to creation, "Peace, be still." You are not drained because you're weak. You're drained because you're divinely wired to restore. You absorb tension. You transmute pain. You purify atmospheres. And that process can feel exhausting, until you remember what it really means. You are heaven's filtration system. You turn chaos into calm, confusion into clarity, darkness into direction, simply by being you. That's why God isolates you sometimes. He needs to pull you out of polluted air so you can refill with divine breath again. Because when you return, you won't just breathe for yourself, you'll breathe life back into entire communities, families, and environments. Every chosen one goes through that cycle. Inhale divine instruction, exhale transformation. You inhale revelation, exhale restoration. You inhale prayer, exhale power. The world doesn't even realize how much it needs you until you step back. That's why, when you withdraw, everything around you feels dull or lost. When you stop engaging, people start to feel disconnected. Because your very presence was an anchor for their spiritual atmosphere. The world breathes because you do. Your faith stabilizes frequencies. Your prayers recharge environments. Your laughter sends ripples of healing. Your forgiveness resets generational patterns. You are living, breathing evidence of God's ongoing creation. So the next time you feel unseen, or undervalued, or misunderstood, remember, even if no one claps for you, heaven sighs with relief because you're still here. Even if people don't thank you, creation does. Every tree, every gust of wind, every drop of water, They all respond to the divine breath flowing through you. That's why nature feels different when you're at peace. The birds sing louder. The air feels lighter. The sun seems warmer. Because creation recognizes one of its own caretakers. You are not random. You are rhythmic. You are part of the symphony that sustains life. Your breath, your spirit, was chosen to remind the earth what divine harmony sounds like. And that's why the enemy tried so hard to silence you. Not because of what you do, but because of what you release. Every time you speak light, you weaken the darkness. Every time you breathe faith, you disrupt fear. Every time you live in love, you restore balance to creation. Chosen one, this world doesn't just want your breath, it needs it. The trees, the oceans, the people, the energies, all of them are waiting for the resonance of a being who remembers where their breath came from. That's why you can't give up now. That's why you can't stay silent. Because every breath you take is an act of defiance against darkness, a reminder that life still belongs to God. So, when the world feels heavy, breathe deeper. When fear whispers, breathe faith. When hate spreads, breathe love. When exhaustion creeps in, breathe rest. Because as long as you are breathing, heaven is still winning. You are not small. You are not powerless. You are the lungs of creation, and when you breathe with intention, even the impossible starts to live again. The world breathes because you do, chosen one. And as long as you're still here, God's plan for this earth still has oxygen. You've probably noticed, when you pray or decree something, confirmations follow fast. You'll speak something in faith, and within days you see signs. That's because heaven echoes your breath. Your words don't vanish, they reverberate through dimensions. You speak, angels move. You command, heaven responds. You align, creation obeys. You are not speaking into empty air, you're activating the living matrix of divine sound that holds everything together. This is why silence from God often means He's waiting for you to speak. He already breathed His word into you, now He's waiting for you to release it. Your decree activates destiny. Your yes activates breakthrough. Your agreement activates miracles. Chosen one, the breath that spoke creation into being is waiting inside you, not for permission, but for expression. In this next season, the greatest battle won't be over your possessions or status. It'll be over your breath. That means your focus, your speech, your spirit. Because every time you misuse your breath, through gossip, worry, or complaining, you weaken the force meant to create your next chapter. This is why God has been teaching you silence. Not the silence of fear, but the silence of mastery. He's showing you how to protect your sacred frequency. Guard what you speak. Guard what you allow others to breathe into your space. Guard what you inhale, the energy, the words, the environments you entertain. Your breath is holy. It's not meant to argue, it's meant to anoint. It's not meant to curse, it's meant to create. You are the keeper of heaven's air on earth. Carry it like royalty. Chosen one. Before this message ends, I want you to pause, right where you are. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel that air moving in and out of your chest. That's not ordinary air. That's heaven's reminder that you're still in divine partnership with the Creator. Every inhale is God saying, "I'm still here." Every exhale is your soul whispering, "I agree." You've made it through storms that were meant to silence your breath. You've walked through seasons where it felt like the air was too heavy to move through, yet here you are, breathing. And not just surviving, but breathing on purpose. Chosen one, creation has been waiting for this moment, the moment you remember what you carry. The breath in you is not weak, not wasted, not random, it's royal. It's divine authority wrapped in human lungs. Do you understand how powerful that is? When you breathe, the universe recalibrates to your faith. When you exhale peace, chaos loses its permission to stay. When you speak with conviction, the unseen world responds like waves to the moon. The same breath that hovered over the waters before time began is the same breath moving through you right now. Heaven didn't just give you life, heaven trusted you with its own rhythm. That's why, no matter what life threw at you, you couldn't stay down. Because divine breath doesn't quit, it revives. It resurrects. It restores. It remembers. Every time you almost gave up, something in you refused. That wasn't just resilience, that was the breath of God reactivating your destiny. You see, breath is more than oxygen. It's evidence. It's proof that the mission isn't over yet. And your breath, chosen one, is proof that God's plan is still unfolding on this earth. You are a walking reminder that divinity didn't stop on the seventh day. Creation didn't end, it continued through you. That's why the world is drawn to your energy. That's why people find comfort around you, even when you say nothing. Because your presence speaks, your very breath preaches. You don't even have to shout to make an impact. Just existing in alignment with heaven is enough to shift the atmosphere around you. So take another breath right now. Slow, intentional, sacred. And as you inhale, remember, you're breathing in the same spirit that parted seas. You're breathing in the same power that raised the dead. You're breathing in the same frequency that said, "Let there be light." And as you exhale, release fear. Release doubt. Release everything that ever made you question your purpose. Because the earth needs your breath, not your worry. The world needs your light, not your anxiety. Creation needs your agreement, not your hesitation. You are heaven's response to the earth's cry. You are the sound of divine restoration in motion. You are the exhale of God, walking, speaking, creating, becoming. Chosen one, stop holding your breath for a life that no longer fits you. Exhale. Step into your true essence. Let your words be wind. Let your presence be peace. Let your spirit breathe freedom into every dark space you enter. The time for silence has ended. Creation is waiting for your sound. Heaven has already said, "Go." Now it's your turn to breathe and say, "I am ready." Breathe, and feel heaven respond. Breathe, and watch miracles unfold. Breathe, because the next move of God is flowing through you. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to force it. You just need to breathe in divine rhythm. Because when you breathe in alignment, creation remembers its creator. And when you speak in truth, heaven answers back. Yes, this one remembers where they came from. So let this be your declaration tonight. Say it out loud with faith. I am not ordinary air. I am divine breath. I speak, and creation listens. I move, and heaven moves with me. I breathe, and light returns to the earth. Chosen one, this is your time. Creation has been waiting, not for another leader, not for another prophet, but for you to remember what you carry. So breathe. Breathe until your spirit feels free again. Breathe until peace fills every cell of your being. Breathe until the room around you shifts. Breathe until heaven feels near, because it already is. You are the echo of "Let there be." And your next breath might just awaken something divine in someone else. Breathe, chosen one, creation is waiting.